Welcome to Co-Headteachers Chatter.
You're not alone in headship. We've lived it.
And we're here for it.
I'm Carrie.
And I'm Claire.
And together we are here for Co-Headteacher Chatter, episode 3, the place where your honest leadership and real life come from the trenches of headship.
And in each episode, we unpack what it actually feels like to lead, support, manage, juggle, and mostly improvise our way through this role.
You are not alone.
We're right here for you.
So, on our podcast today, we've got 2 special guests, Jess and Charlie. Welcome, Jess and Charlie.
Both Jess and Charlie have worked with Carrie and I in the past, and it's been such a privilege to watch their careers grow and flourish.
We first met in 2017 when Claire and I became co-head teachers, which isn't exactly the traditional model of headship.
So, Jess, Charlie, welcome, as we said, and thank you so much for joining us.
So let's start right back at the beginning when you first heard that we were going to be co-head teachers.
It's a usual thing to hear of co-head teachers. So I think it was first unpicking what that might look like for the school. We had quite a few discussions about, how much you two are going to be aligned in your vision and potentially your communication. Yes, that's strong with each other and then with the staff as well. Obviously, because as well, you both didn't start at the same time.
No.
So although, you were coming in as co-head teachers, there was quite a time where you weren't co-head teachers.
We've touched on that bit before where Carrie started 4 days and I was still at my last school, so I just did 1 day a week. So we weren't the co-head teacher model that we were fully introduced till a few months later.
It was very clear early on that actually it wasn't a model to be worried about or scared about. And, some of your strapline, 2 heads better than 1.
Yeah.
And it definitely is. I think that was really clear to see that you were very aligned with each other. Yeah, I think it was clear that you two had worked together before and then you had that strong communication. As a pair, you know how each other work as a team. I think that was strong from the start.
I know, and people used to get us mixed up. I used to just go as Clary.
Yeah,
Nobody really knew how to interview us, didn't know.
No, they didn't.
We were completely new model, and coming into the school, it was unsettling anyway, having a new head as one, having 2 coming in. Yeah.
Something because we'd worked together before, then had a bit of a gap, that Carrie and I had always had this vision of taking our co-headship together to another school.
And so as the years went on, we've been on quite a big journey as a school. So from your perspective, what shifts did you notice as we were bringing in the culture, the expectations, the energy?
I think for me, the biggest thing at the start was you knew where you wanted to take the school. And I think that was something that you spoke quite a lot about. Yeah, about vision. Yeah. And your just values as leaders as well. And you were fun as well, I think. Yeah. Yeah.
And we have laughed, haven't we?
We have, oh God, we have cried. We've cried, we've got every emotion of the sun, we've been frustrated at times.
Yeah.
I think it was, like you say, that real clarity around how you wanted it to be and routines and consistency. And consistency was really the key because you had pockets of real greatness, and I think it was just then showcasing that to improve all areas that sort of needed to be moved on.
Yeah,
I think that's really true. We were talking to Christy about recruitment, and it was like a revolving door, wasn't it? But actually, we had some core golden nuggets in school. I don't like to sing your praises too much, girls over there, but you two might have featured in those golden nuggets. Eventually, we got in to a group with people who wanted to be on the journey with us, and I think that's the key.
Yeah, that we often talk about that as like the magic of our school, and that the people that were really those nuggets that you're talking about. We all had the same vision values for the school, that it's the same as yours. And that's why people stayed at our school for so long. You know, we were all on that journey together, and we all had fun along that journey. But that was definitely a strength, I think, that you brought into the school, and people very quickly got on board with that. And those that didn't,
you know, we made some difficult decisions along the way. We had challenges with recruitment, as we've said, and there became a turning point where a few more people and experienced teachers were willing to take the risk and come and join us. That was really exciting.
There was a point where I could feel the school really moving forward. Like there was some, you know, movement, and it was feeling that everyone was there and together. You know, and we had days where, you know, things got on top of people. Of course we did. But, you know, it is nice to see when you've invested in people and, you know, we've done all the training, the support's been put in place, then you can see the difference. I mean, you're now leading a school, Jess. And, you know, we've just been round there today, and we've seen all the things you have put in place, and the shifts. You were telling us of the shifts you can see.
And the slow shifts. But I think working with you guys and seeing that journey from start to finish and knowing what's possible. And I think, you know, I'm very early on in my journey.
But it's not a quick fix.
No, and it's not. And that never works. You know, quick fix, put other things in. As soon as you take it, it falls apart again. So, you know, when you're improving a school, it's got to be those embedded long-term systems and processes, etc., to get it where it needs to be. And I quite often reflect and go, right, okay, think back, right, okay, so, you know, how far had we got in a year, 2 years, 3 years? And
do you remember when you were applying for this job, we talked about the first 100 days, and then you hit your first 100 days. That's time to reflect. What have you achieved?
But I think when you live and breathe it every day, it's really sometimes hard to acknowledge yourself until, you know, you have people coming in. And I think it was the same obviously when we worked together, when people come and go, oh my goodness, like you really see the, you know, the improvements. You can feel the difference, the culture. Sometimes you need other people to point it out, because when you're living and breathing it,
and
don't see those small incremental
people who perhaps listen to the podcast and they're on a journey. You know, you can get lost in that, and it's about that team you've got around you. I mean, there was never a time when we were all feeling down and desperate at the same time. You know, when one of us was, perhaps the other one was like, come on, we can do it. It'll be fine tomorrow. We'll come back. We'll dust ourselves down and we'll get on. I mean, we used to play, I'd get knocked down, but I get up again. Because it felt like that, didn't it? It felt like, you know, you went 2 steps forward and sometimes 3 steps backwards.
But they're the whole highs and lows of leadership and how it works. And, you know, with you guys and the other people that we've worked with, again, you know, the lows are hard. They can be really hard. And you know, some people can feel very lonely. And if, you know, you're not a co-headship, it's not such a common model. Actually, head teachers must reach out. Reach out to people in your own school, but reach out to other schools, hopefully locally to you, because I can guarantee there's other people feeling exactly the same way as you.
It's okay to feel that it's difficult, because it is. But, you know, there is a way forward, and you've just got to believe, and it's that vision and values I firmly believe. I think we all do, don't we?
And just thrashing out those ideas. You know, keep talking, keep the communication up. I think, you know, we've touched on those whole relationship side, and hopefully, you know, you guys listening and watching to us now can, you know, you can just pick that up with us. You know, we just the way we all just bounce off each other still is really key.
I think that's exactly it.
So we do a segment on Co-Head Teacher Diaries, and we've got them again. Okay, and I was looking through, because, you know, this is what I do. I have a little look through to see.
It's very therapeutic.
It has, actually. But it's really interesting, because the first thing we started to improve are the phonics and maths. So, Charlie, you led on maths, and you know, you did a very good job of leading us through in maths. But just tell us a little bit, because I was just reading in here that you were off to the Maths Hub.
Yeah.
Okay, and you were, Maths Mastery. Now, it wasn't an easy journey, was it? So,
It was a long journey, but a really exciting one. I think it was probably the biggest at the start when you two started, the biggest change.
Yeah.
And
It's quite new.
I was trying to make that change before you both arrived at the school, and I think that was one of the things that probably really then excited me, as I was given permission. Actually, what I kept hearing about at the
Delegate. Delegate.
yeah. So that was really exciting, and I was going on a lot of training from the Maths Hub, coming back, and then I think the great thing was that the staff got really on board with it as well. So from PD that then I was running, I was able to come back and speak to you both and the leadership team about what I'd seen. And then I think what I really appreciated, and I can see with hindsight now, is how much trust you put in me from coming back from myself and then disseminating that to the rest of the staff. And that the staff then were brilliant at trialing things. And then we kind of came up with a really great cycle.
we did.
Just it became natural to us as a school then. It came from there.
You've taken me back though, Charlie. Do you remember you and I travelled up to London one time? I've got out.
We've got out.
Because we didn't get out on stage, didn't we?
Not at all. But the hubs, those maths hubs, which, I know are still running, have been so successful. And, thank you to everyone that's worked, with those. But we seized it quite early.
Yes, we did. And I feel like we were one of the schools in the area that really kind of took a lead with that.
Yeah. And our trust really supported it as well.
Massively. And that really, really helped. And again, I think that was part of the buy-in of the staff, is they could then see, as soon as we started putting things into place, the staff could see the impact it was having on the children pretty much straight away. And it just changed then everything. I feel like that we did after that. We used what we'd seen with the maths, and then we took it and we did it with the English. We did it with the phonics, and it kind of like we then rolled it across everything.
Made it right
for
our
context.
context.
Whole way of teaching.
Absolutely.
It was brilliant. And I think that's one of the things that we really talk about with parents as well when they come down to calls at the school. That was a real shift, I think, in the teaching.
And a shift in our outcomes.
That was for me, that time was the big debate was rows or group takes.
Yeah.
And you just think that can never work. And you're like, okay, we'll give it a go. We'll try it. And then we're like, oh my goodness, no, it actually really does work.
So actually where, Carrie and I bounced off each other and had separate responsibilities. We've touched on that in a previous podcast. That's the same as Jess and Charlie as well, because Charlie was very much had that passion for maths. And Jess was like, English. Writing. There's some things I'd like to do with it. So off she went. Talk us through what we did. We had some bare bones.
Yeah. So I think
you took over, didn't you?
You took over. Yeah. So I think, we'd given it a good go. But I think you can't be afraid of is to make it your own. But I think, it's really knowing your context and knowing your children. And so we took Talk for Writing. I called it, and looked at it, and we were like, right, okay, what do our children need? It was that application of skill. So, right, okay, in the units, that has got to be that's got to be a real priority. And just working, and again, just making it really consistent. Children like boundaries and safety. They like to know what's happening, what's coming next. And we got it into such a good place. And obviously, COVID did help massively with that, because while I had my child and he was very young, and so what I did quite a lot was look at that and just allowed that time that we know that we don't get in schools to really sit and go, right, where do we want this curriculum to go?
And Jess, can I just say, from nursery all the way through to year 6, we wanted anything we did to start there.
2 to 11.
Like a corner shop.
But I think it's just having that time and building on that consistency.
And you know what's really magic is it's still there and alive.
What we did with that, you quality assured
Yep.
the maths,
Yep.
and I quality assured the English. I remember sitting on those team calls in COVID, and we were pulling it apart, putting it together, discussing it. We had some school-to-school support, didn't we?
Yes.
And so we used that as well to help us. It was just so successful, both of those initiatives. We got people to model, so powerful.
I think I must have been based on our staff as well, I think.
But
Yeah.
and we've got, then staff wanted to lead staff meetings and really take ownership of their subjects. But I mean, you two modelled that so brilliantly.
I think that's the thing, because we were happy to do the gallery lessons to start off with.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, okay, well, you're just asking us to do it. We did them, and then talked about helping support other staff do theirs.
Okay, so now we're going to move on to our next segment, which is called the Daily Dump.
One of them.
Yeah. And this is about things that land on your plate, particularly as a head, but even as a senior leader, and things that happen to you that aren't in your job description.
Anything.
Yeah.
The unexpected, the bizarre, that chaos that you just didn't predict first thing in the morning.
Jess, have you got a daily dump to dump on us today?
I've got a monthly down. I think something for me that was very unexpected was I have quite a big site. And obviously for safety, and you get it a lot nowadays, we have a lot of the magnetic doors, the Paxton system. And one day our IT tech thought it'd be a good idea during the day to do a system update, which then meant that you couldn't open any of the doors. And so there were various staff members and children just in certain areas locked in. Couldn't go out to play because our doors are on that system. And at the time, because I was new, didn't know how to override that. There actually is, if you look up the top, there is a way to override it, but I didn't know that. And so for about 5 minutes, I was stuck in the reception, not able to go anywhere, thinking, oh my goodness, how am I going to sort this one out? With no phone.
Everyone's looking at you.
I was going, luckily it was only an update, and then they started coming back live. But it's at that point you just don't think that's going to happen.
No.
So, yeah.
It wasn't in your diary for that
It
day.
wasn't in my diary. No, to get what's in the
Awful job description.
No, yeah.
Okay, so anything, Charlie, as a senior leader that has happened to you that has been dumped on you?
It might be from me. She's got the
Yes, come on. Hello.
I suppose coming back from a year 6 non-residential day out, we'd had a really lovely day. I think I had about 18 children with me and another member of staff. And I got back to the back gates and realised I could hear an alarm going off. And realised quite quickly it was the fire alarm. And I then started seeing those children appearing on our playground. So I rang Claire. The phone. Yes. Is it just a practice? No. Okay. Just wait here then. So it was that. I can't do anything because I now need to stay with the children outside. So Claire's just doing this in the school.
a real fire.
Just a little one. Was
It was.
But yes, I felt extremely helpless. Just standing there. Yeah, I think you never think that anything like that's going to happen, but you saying that has just triggered a. I literally have been imposed first headship. We were 3 weeks in my CPD room. And halfway through delivering something quite important, I think it was the new assessment and feedback policy that I was trying to implement. But very quickly, we started smelling burning, and we couldn't work out. And I was like, I don't know what that smell is. Just carried on. As you do, because this was a very important CPD. And then all of a sudden, and the light above us just sort of sparks came from it and started to really smell and smoke. And so we just turned the light switch off. When you just get that realization, I think we might need to evacuate. So spoke to somebody in the trust that oversees facilities, and they're like, yes, you need to call the fire brigade and you need to evacuate now. Well, that was fine. But then that led on to another issue of, who's going to run down and let the fire brigade in? And who's got the key for the gate? Because bearing in mind, only 3 weeks in, and this was after school. I had 2 fire engines. I had the police because it was the school, etc. And very swiftly got to know my head of estates and services very well after
Every cloud.
First mentioned. Yes, and smoke cloud.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing your daily dumps with us and being part of that. If you have any daily dumps you'd like to share with us, we'd love to hear from you.
Yep, and you can contact us on coheadschatter@gmail.com or subscribe to this channel and you can comment. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jess and Charlie. And thanks very much for joining us on our 3rd episode of our podcast. And I've got to say, it did take us another hour to set up again today. So we really are technically inept, aren't we? Yeah. Thank you for listening, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Remember, you're not alone in headship. It's real life stories that we want to hear from you, no matter what they are. Bye.
Bye.